Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Wilcox, and welcome to today's tutorial on how to release your own neck, shoulder area. Some people might say upper traps, the levator scap, scalenes. There's a lot of different muscles in that area. And as a reminder, this is not a substitute for going and actually seeing a practitioner to help do myofascial release for you, because it is far better and they are able to listen to your body and follow along and find where the restrictions might be stemming from. But this is a great thing to do in between your appointments, especially if your practitioner suggested that you do some self-care at home in between your next appointment. So this is going to be using a Theracane. So what I have is I think this is probably the original Theracane. I've had this for many years and they still sell this original Theracane. Now, because of Amazon and all of those other things, there are a lot of other brands that are similar in nature, but I love this one and it does what I need it to do. But if you look online, you will find that there are many different kinds and many different shapes with the little knobs and all different kinds of areas, but I like this guy. So I will put a link below this video to the places that you can buy the original Theracane, and then if you look up Theracane on Amazon, you will find many other brands at many other price points as well. But this is my favorite. So the reason I love to use this tool for release in this area is that it is really hard to release with a ball. My preference for a lot of myofascial release techniques is to lay on a ball or a foam roller, but this area is really tough because the ball will tend to, if you get it up too high on your back, it'll pop out, it'll roll out. You can try to do some techniques where you kind of get yourself up into a door jamb, and so the door jamb is here holding the ball and your head's kind of going through the door. That's okay. It's not the most comfortable. I don't think it's the most effective. So this is my favorite tool to use when it comes to any of the releases up through this neck and upper shoulder area. So this is how I hold the Theracane. And so when you come back into this area, so you're going to be going along kind of that chunky, big, muscly part of your neck and your upper shoulder. And for the most part, I'm sure a lot of people are going to find some tender spots in there. This, just with our computer culture, our phones, iPads, all of that kind of thing, we do tend to get pretty tight up in here. So on me, I actually ended up coming forward. A lot of people are tight kind of back in here, which is along the top of the shoulder blade. Down, you can even go down to the middle part of the shoulder blade with a Theracane. Let me turn so you can see. You can use this Theracane all the way down in between your shoulder blade. And then you can come up in here into kind of the upper trap. You can go up towards your neck. You can come out more towards your shoulder. Just don't go on any bones because that really doesn't feel good. And the Theracane is quite hard, so it's not like that soft ball that I use for a lot of my releases. But in my case, I found a nice tender spot a little farther forward. So again, you can kind of come forward into some of these neck muscles up here, the scalenes. And so what you're going to do, a lot of people with a Theracane are taught to really like pull down and circle around and move it back and forth and really kind of jam in there on that muscle. That is not the essence of myofascial release, and in my experience, that is not the best way to release a muscle long term. It might be really effective in the short term, but it'll make you really sore, and it probably just is going to loosen it up for a little while, but then you'll likely find that it gets tight again. So for more long-term relief, you're going to take the Theracane, and I have my hands, my Theracane has two pieces on it that are almost like a handle. And so my hands are just resting here. They're not like grasping, pulling, doing anything like that. They're literally like, I could just have my fingers out here because they're not actually doing a heck of a lot besides just resting there. But you find your spot. So yeah, oh, there's mine. And you're going to just let your hands rest on those handles and then just let that ball area sink into the tight muscle. So again, we're not moving things around. We're not doing a bunch of crazy back and forth kind of stuff with the Theracane to really kind of get in there and super massage the muscle. We're not doing that. We're just letting it rest. So once you get into this position, oftentimes when I do this, a lot of times I'm sitting on my couch, maybe watching TV or listening to a book on tape. But you can do this in so many different positions. At work, you could just have this Theracane resting if you're next to your computer. At work, just have it sitting next to your chair, and then you can pick this up and use it if you have a little break from using the mouse or the keyboard for a little while. But again, you're just letting it rest. You're not pulling down, you're just using gravity to let your arms just rest on the Theracane. And sorry, if you see something moving down here, it's my dog. He really wanted to be close to me today. So you're going to let that go. And then after a couple minutes, once you've really allowed it to sink down into the tissues, then if you want, you can kind of start moving your head a little bit, and you'll feel that that changes the force of the Theracane on that tight, restricted area. And so kind of move your way around. And if you find a spot, you can look up, you can look down. For me, it's kind of right in the middle there. And again, just hold it there. And you can do slow, gentle movements with your head, or you can find a spot, like for me, it's right there, and just stay there for a while and let the downward pressure of that Theracane just continue to sink into that tissue. And think about, in your mind, actually visualize melting and softening of the tissues under the Theracane, and you will notice that it starts to kind of sink down, and you might feel a more intense stretch or a more intense, not discomfort, but like therapeutic discomfort or therapeutic pain under the Theracane. And that just means it's coming into some deeper layers. So again, visualize softening, melting around the tissues, and then become aware of anywhere else that you're feeling it throughout your body. If you're sitting there with your eyes closed, you might very well feel sensations going into other areas of your body, and that's a really good thing to keep note of for the next time you see your therapist, to let your therapist know where you felt some sensations while you were doing these releases. Or it might be the next place that you're going to want to go by yourself doing some self-care. You can use the Theracane if it's something like maybe you felt it go further down around your shoulder blade. Find that spot again, kind of settle in. If it's around your shoulder blade, you're not going to be coming downward as much with your hands. You're going to be kind of pulling forward a little bit more. And then from there, you can go up, down, see where it feels the best, and then just stay there. So again, I'm not doing a heck of a lot. My thumbs are kind of just pushing forward, and I can feel that tight spot next to my shoulder blade. And so now I'm just resting there again. And if I was doing this release on my own, I would close my eyes, visualize softening and melting of the tissues around there. And again, just becoming aware of anywhere else I might feel those sensations, and just allowing my body to let go of any of the tightness that it is experiencing in that area. So that is my favorite way to do release of this whole area up there with a Theracane. So if you have any questions, please write those in the comments about the technique. Again, this is just informational education, not specific for any specific diagnoses or anything like that. Please reach out to your myofascial release practitioner. And just remember, you are the only one that knows how you feel. So listen to your body, let it lead you. And I hope that you found some relief from this release. Have a wonderful day.